In today's video, it finally happened. I got my mojo back.
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Revelia from ProPhysique.com, and today's video is going to be a little bit autobiographical. It's going to be about myself and coming out of a contest prep season, which I had last year, as it relates to not only how I approach it with myself, but with my clients, but also a theory that I've had for a long time now that just seems to keep coming true, and it gets reiterated a lot over and over, and I see the same thing. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I feel like it can help some people that are entering contest prep, thinking about entering contest prep, or thinking about extending an off season. So let's first talk about what I mean by I'm back. Well, in the last couple weeks, I've had a return of my mojo as a man. What I mean by that is I've noticed I've added some lean body mass, okay? I feel denser, yet I haven't added any body fat. The scale has kind of been stable, but I just look better. I feel a little bit leaner, I feel a little bit more muscular. Got the old magic back, you know, with the male hormones, if you know what I'm saying. I just feel like myself again, and it's almost something you don't realize happens, because when we get into a contest prep, when we begin losing body fat, it's such a slow process, right? You just have these changes over time. They're almost psychological, physiological, and they happen at such a slow pace that you don't recognize them. And to the fact, last year when I was dieting down and I got really lean, I felt really good, or so I thought. You know, I felt good for what I was doing. I felt better than I ever felt getting into stage condition. But now, seeing where I am now, and really understanding that my hunger is basically gone. For anyone that knows me, I don't have much of an appetite when I'm not in prep, okay? I probably eat more calories the last couple weeks of contest prep than I do right now, okay? I just don't have a big appetite. When I eat a meal, I feel full. I have to kind of remind myself to eat large protein meals throughout the day. And I think that's a good indicator that, you know what, my hunger is back to normal. My hunger signaling is back to normal because I'm not able to really consume a lot of calories. I was out with my competitors this weekend in New York City. We went out for a big meal. Couldn't even finish my dinner, which is kind of embarrassing when you're with, 110-pound bikini girls that are just smashing food, and I'm really struggling to get a burger down, right? But that's the point. Hunger signaling gets all messed up during contest prep. So what do I mean by I'm back? It's just that. It's my hunger signals are back to normal. My hormones are back to normal. And I just feel good in the gym. Every time I go lift, I feel strong. I feel like I'm recovering. I feel like I'm progressing again. I've noticed some extra lean body mass. And so why is that important? Well, guess what right around now is? Right around now is the point where I've been out of contest prep as long as I was in it. And I think what is the trend right now with competitors, and especially with some competitors who get into competition for maybe the wrong reasons, is you go into a competition prep, come out of it perhaps not the best manner, and then you go right back into prep to kind of fix some of the problems that you caused by coming out of prep wrong. And so we don't actually allow our bodies to correct themselves and to recover. And I'll highlight a client of mine, a couple clients of mine. So you guys probably know Emily Hayden and Paige Riley. Those are two of the more, I would say, vocal clients of mine on the interwebs who I work with and convince them to not compete again. Now, it wasn't really difficult with Emily. She had competed 4 years in a row. And I think she had potentially thought about not competing ever again, but something magic happened when she took an entire year or more off from thinking about dieting. Her body fat dropped, she started feeling good again, and she got back that mojo, the mojo I'm talking about, where you just feel like yourself. I think with competing, we can get into a place where we're eating low calories, we're training really hard, but the body just doesn't look the way it should look. We're not able to lose fat, we're not able to add muscle. You're just not in a good place. And same thing that happened with Paige Riley, after her long season last year, which was a remarkable season, but we had to push really hard a couple times at the end of the season. Well, when she came out of the season, we weren't really able to get her calories very high initially without seeing, increases in body fat. And I know she was struggling a little bit with overall, like how her body was adapting, but something magic happened just recently. And again, we are just now to the point where she's been out of prep as long as she was in prep. Her body weight started dropping. We started raising her calories. Her body weight dropped even more. She's now eating 300 grams of carbs and maintaining less body fat than she was before we started our last prep, and with more muscle. So it's really great to see this, and it's just something I want to push out to the public. If you guys are listening to me, hopefully you get something out of this, and that's, you should spend way more time not competing than you do competing. And what I mean by that is, the minute you start a fat loss phase for prep, you're competing. It's not the time that you're lean or the time that you're on stage. The minute you start restricting calories, our bodies are paying attention. We start to have adaptations and changes that are going on during that process. Now they start to slowly change over time, and then we adjust our approach to continue getting leaner. But through that process, our bodies are continuing to change, our mind is continuing to change, and it puts us in a position where it's really easy to struggle post-show. And so I think the trend that I see with competitors, especially now, I work with a lot of competitors that are trying to get a pro card. What happens is we get really close. We get a top 5, we get a top 10, we win an overall, whatever it is at the regional level. We go to nationals, we do really well there, and the thought process is, let's just push to the next national show. And sometimes that works out, but it all comes down to how the person is responding. And I think what I'm really finding to be more and more beneficial is taking a full year off. And I don't mean doing the same show a year apart. That might be fine for some people, but what I'm thinking is giving your body a full year to just recover and just be itself and just train and eat and lose the food focus and lose the body composition focus and lose the scale focus and focus on strength, recovery, being in the gym, having fun with your friends, being social, getting that promotion, going back to school, whatever it is, finding something that kind of gets you excited about your day-to-day life other than the bodybuilding stage. I think a lot of us can get kind of addicted to these trophies. I mean, it's kind of hard to describe if you've not gone through the process, but when you're getting lean and getting on stage, everybody gives you so much attention, okay? The people in the gym that you've never talked to, they stop you and say, wow, you look great. The people in the grocery store when you're buying groceries will ask you what kind of groceries those are. Is that what made you get, is this the diet? Is this the trick to getting where you're at? Never mind the months of dieting that you've been on. It's, that's what they look at and they see. But this kind of feedback that we get, especially with the, putting information out on the internet, the leaner you get, the better you look in the pictures that you're going to put on Instagram and Facebook, or the better, if you look at my videos from this time last year, I had the chiseled jaw, probably had some shoulder striations going on. It's just a different look, and you get more attention when you're doing that. But what's important is that we take as much time away from that as we need to come back and be better. I've never competed in a period shorter than 18 months apart, meaning I spent a full year out of the stage, and I usually take 2 to 3 years off. My goal right now is to take at least 2.5, 3 years away from the stage and come back in a couple years and just look a little bit different, look a little bit better. It gets me excited thinking about the stage. I always have it there as a goal. Why? I think it helps me make the right decisions. On days when I'm feeling like skipping the gym, on days when I'm feeling like, not following my diet, knowing that I have that goal in front of me in the future really just helps kind of shape those decisions. I still enjoy life. I still do what I need to do, but that time away from the stage is very valuable. And so that's all this video is. It's just me explaining to you guys that it's going to happen. You're going to feel normal again. You're going to let it return to your normal state. But you have to stop pushing and pushing and pushing to do another show, okay? If you've been someone that's historically competed every year or even every season, like in the spring and in the fall of every year, allow yourself that time away, because I promise you it's going to be rewarded. That's it for me today, guys. It's just a personal video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll get back to you tomorrow answering some questions. I'll talk to you then.